Molweni, once again, Kamalam Lithemba Nziweni. I am an artist. I don't know how much else to introduce myself besides that Lithemba. I was a place who's becoming a world photographer. So thank you so much for joining me today on this special occasion. Firstly, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has honored the theme for today. From princess to the colored hair to, so thank you so much. It means so much to me that you guys would go all the way and come all the way here to just see this work that I've created with a bunch of friends and a bunch of collaborators. It means so much to me. So before I get into anything else, I just want to say thank you so much for contributing towards making my dream come true. Where this whole thing started, it started off with myself and a friend, the guy that I founded the agency with. We wanted to get into the eventing space, so wanted to make events and all of that stuff, but we had absolutely no experience when it came to that. So we figured that we could maybe learn from the people that were already in that industry. So we bought the camera with the intention of not being photographers, but with the intention of creating content for our own events. So we got the camera, I think literally 2 days after we got the camera, we bumped into these guys on campus who were about to do an event over the weekend. So we approached them with the intention of taking content for their event for free, so that we could get access to the venue for free, take some content, and in return, they would then teach us about the eventing space. They would show us the ropes and all of that stuff. So it was like a trade for trade thing. We create the content for them. They would then teach us how to make events. So over the Saturday we went there, took some content, sent it to them. I think we woke up the morning after and we realized that these pictures are not so bad. And then I think literally the Tuesday after, we organized a photo shoot with a friend on campus. We went around campus, started shooting some stuff, and went home, literally edited immediately that same day. And I was editing the images, so I edited the images immediately that same day, and I realized that okay, I wanna explore more on what we've created here. So I wanna maybe try and be a little more intentional, maybe with the second shoot that I do, So I think literally the following day I hit up another friend, we did a shoot, and then immediately after the shoot I was like, you know what, I wanna explore more of what I've just explored more of. So I think the rest of the next 2 weeks, all I did was just making photo shoot and creating content and just creating art with just anybody I could around campus. And I think I was new at the time, so it was very much exciting just approaching people and saying, hey, I do this, and can we do this, and can we do that? So we just went around campus just creating a whole bunch of stuff. And I think from then on, I realized it wasn't even like an intentional decision, but I think the photography, I developed a lot more love for the photography more than I did for wanting to do events. So I think ever since, the third photo shoot that I did, I just never stopped shooting. So I think from then on, I just really wanted to be good at this thing. I think for the first time in my life, I was doing something that came so effortless, and when I looked at the result, I felt really good about it, So photography was that for me. So I think that's where everything started, just wanting to do more and explore more, and wanting to get better at this thing. And now we're here still trying to get better at this thing 3-4 years later. Started getting published more on Vogue. So I think that's how I was able to get there, being more intentional with my work.
Okay, well, now growing up in the spaces was there like a person, be it a photographer or an artist, okay, so I think listen, I want to do the same thing that this person is doing?
Yes, there's always been those uncles and those guys and those people that would take pictures of the school kids and that have this photo booth and all of that stuff, but that thing has always been there growing up, but I never drew any inspiration from that. I think when I saw a different side to photography, when I started following the likes of the Trevor Steadmans of this world, Batuwani Mukeli, Justice Mukeli, John Baloy, Cedric Nzaka at the time, I'm trying to think of the other photographers that I used to follow back in the day. But I'd say those 5 people. When I saw what they did with photography, with the color grading and the storytelling, and the levels in which they took their work to, I was like, now that is something that I'm interested in. But obviously these people were very far away from where I was, so I really had to draw the inspiration from the internet and from the TV and all these other things that I used to source out this inspiration from. But again, it didn't really seem like something that I would do. But that's where I really just drew my inspiration from. I think my earliest work was heavily inspired by Trevor Steadman, from like the color grading to the storytelling to like the things that he would do when he would like put his work out there, and him just being like an exhibiting photographer and allowing his work to have life outside of like the social media realm, so like stuff like that has really played a huge part in how I decided to move as a photographer. So I'd say those 5 people right now were my main influences to the kind of photography that I make today.
Okay, so what inspired the project that you just exhibited, titled Hairitage?
This particular project was inspired by a range of conversations that I not only had with myself internally, but the conversations I started having with my close circle of friends, my creative community, and anyone that was willing to listen, to be quite honest. So yeah, I was just having conversations around the concept of hair and how I feel like it's influenced a lot of my identity, who I am in terms of my personality, my everyday mannerisms, the different complexities and personalities that I take up with the different hairstyles that I've had over the years. So these conversations then progressed into me wanting to document other people's hair journey. So yeah, these conversations progressed into me wanting to document other people's hair journeys using photography. And in the process of using photography to document all of these like very interesting and intriguing stories about people's hair journeys, I realized that photography was a bit limiting. I think that's where the filmmaking bug really bit me a lot, because I now wanted to create more visuals to sort of complete the story that I wanted to tell with Hairitage. So that's where the documentary side of Hairitage came about, and that's where the idea of wanting to make a film came about, and that's where the idea of wanting to make a music album inspired by the concept came about, and all these other different elements that I want to cultivate in the sense of creating a more well-rounded concept when it comes to Hairitage. So yeah, but in a nutshell, it was inspired by just this range of interesting conversations regarding hair that I had with myself and my people. I recently hosted the exhibition the past 2 days, so there's just been a range of emotions to process, a range of interactions, conversations, and just taking up the experience and just let it sink in. I don't think I've gotten to a point where I've processed everything yet. I think it's really only going to sink in when all is said and done, when I'm in my space by myself and just thinking about everything thoroughly again. But what I can say is at the moment it feels good to see an idea come to life. I think the past 2 days I literally saw an idea I had 4 years ago come to life for the first time ever, because I think everything was building up to Friday and Saturday. I think last year was the launch of an idea. It was just me saying, hey, this was the idea and I'm trying it out, and I think that idea was really just building up to the past 2 days. So just seeing an idea come to life like that is something that I can't seem to put into words yet, but what I can say, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, I'm relieved to have finally lived long enough to see it come to life, and I think everything else I will be able to fully process it when all is said and done, but I'm happy.
So
more of Hairitage on a bigger scale, more work, a documentary, a movie, an album, an animation, a festival one day, maybe like in the next 10 years, who knows. But I think the intention for this year was to take Hairitage outside of Grahamstown, outside of the Eastern Cape, and to almost like find other stories that exist outside of my comfort zone. So fortunately this year I was able to do that. So I think the plans for the next 2 years is to take it to different provinces and eventually take it outside of South Africa. In the next 6 years, take it outside of the continent. So I think, yeah, when it comes to heritage, you can definitely expect that, but there's so many other things that we're currently working on as an agency, as an independent artist myself. Runaways is still coming back. We are in the development phases of the film that I shot 2 years ago. Yeah. So we're currently working with a production company and trying to make an actual film out of that. So there's that. And then what else? Yeah. As a photographer, yeah. On a personal level, can't wait to finish my honors. Oh my god. So yeah, I think top of my head, that's it.
You just mentioned your honors. What are you studying in the way?
I'm studying my honors in applied psychology. Yeah, I'm studying that.
Nice. Nice.
I think the most important thing would be just do it. Go out and shoot. Put it out, shoot again. But I think the most important thing is to make sure that you do it wholeheartedly and you do it with your own vision and you apply yourself. But yeah, but I don't think anything happens if you don't do it. You know, you just gotta wake up and go and shoot, bro. Just wake up and go and shoot. I think you'll figure the rest out later. You'll figure the rest out when you have the actual work. So wake up, go and shoot. Everything else will fall into place after that. All the ideas will come from the work you've